So I've always ridden all my life. My parents were both horses, so just naturally got into it from, the age of 2 or 3, that sort of height. And initially I show jumped up until I was about 16. That was always my love. So I went to my first badminton when I was only 19, and I was clear, which was an amazing start, and then went to Burghley the same year and was clear. I think I was just very lucky to land on a brave and genuine cross-country horse, and from then just came on in leaps and bounds, different horses over the years that have taken me to different levels and different competitions. This is Halltown Harley, otherwise known as Harley. We actually nickname him Barbie Pony because he's golden, so for his colour. He's been a fantastic horse for me. I've had him for 5 years. He's actually the horse I took to Halton Hall for the Nations Cup, where we won Team Gold. And he's been a fantastic horse. He actually won his first Nations Cup in Austria in 2017, and he's been great ever since. I think the best thing about my job is, so privileged to be in a place like this and work outside and work with animals. I think the worst thing is just the constant pressure financially and in terms of work hours. I'd say my standard week is about a 70-hour week. Very rarely get a day off, which is a massive negative, but I think without putting in the hours and the time, you just can't get the results. So social media is a massive thing these days. I think, as I've grown up with eventing, it wasn't such a big thing 10 years ago, but nowadays it's huge. I like the positivity of social media. There can be a lot of negativity around it, and I don't like that side of it. But I think if you can use it in a positive way and use it to help, your relationship with your owners and horses and your fans and help people see what you're doing behind the scenes, then it can be a great tool. I've got about 10,000 followers on Facebook and about 15,000 on Instagram, and it's nice to be able to interact with them. I run quite a few competitions with my sponsors to allow fans to win things, whether they be win a lesson or win products. So it's really nice to be able to give back to people that support me and follow me. I think being in sync with a horse is sort of understanding what boundaries you're allowed to cross, and I think it's with any relationship or partnership with any animal or any person, is that sometimes you have to let them lead, and sometimes a horse can be really strong and you can't dominate them, and you have to just say, do you know what, I trust you and I'm going to let you go even though I don't want to go that quick or I don't want to go that slow. So I think developing a relationship with a horse is massive, but I think a lot of riders need to understand that sometimes it's a case of not always being in control and letting the horse lead sometimes. So with Harley, we have a mutual understanding of each other that basically he rules and I do what he wants to do. Cross country, he's very strong, and a lot of the time I'm out of control, but I trust him absolutely 100% with my life. He would never deliberately make a mistake and he would never hurt me, so I'm very lucky that I can sometimes just let him go a little bit faster than I choose to go. So Halton Hall was a great event. It was my first British Nations Cup. The 4 I'd done previously were all abroad, so it was nice to be on home soil. Again, great to be on my super partner, Halltown Harley, who was fantastic for me all week. We started off with a really good test. He couldn't have done a better performance. He made no mistakes. A little bit disappointed with our score of 33. I do feel that he deserved a few marks better than that. Overall, it couldn't have gone better for both myself and the team. We all jumped double clear inside the time, so a fantastic way to win the Nations Cup. I think being the final rider in a team, there's always that pressure. I knew that my first 2 teammates had gone clear inside the time, but so had all the other countries had gone clear. And it was important for me to go clear inside the time for us to be able to win the Nations Cup. So there is that pressure, but I think for me, I trust Harley inside out. He's a total star. He always gives me 100%. I just needed to make sure that I asked him all the right questions. I think it was fantastic coming to the last fence. It's very easy to make a mistake. You have to remember that the last fence is still very much a fence you need to jump and not to celebrate until you've got over the line. But it's great to come home and jump a clear inside the time for the team. I mean, I've been eventing now for 16 years, so a long time, but I think representing your country at any level is, fantastic. I was very lucky to go to both juniors and young riders, and now to have done 5 Nations Cups is just fantastic. It's always going to be an honour, and it always will be an honour.